Welcome to Lead Today with me, Kalyna. Let's talk leadership. Okay, I'm sure this is not going to be the last episode of this topic. I think I've sort of, in a circular way, touched on it. I just want to laser focus into something. This will be 20 minutes or less, like maybe we're even aiming for 15 minutes, but this is just on my mind and I want to say it. I feel like I don't even know if in other episodes I've said this in a way that's judgy. I'm not trying to be judgy. I know we kind of got into a breastfeeding parenting discussion, and it can feel like, because I do think breastfeeding is best for you, for your baby, for the bond, but I don't think it works for everyone because a lot of, okay, I don't think it works for a lot of women because of the societal obligations and expectations of what motherhood is. This is a huge topic. We're not going to unpack it in 15 minutes. I've tried. I just want to give you a sense of what's worked for me in my parenting so far. There's a lot that probably hasn't. I am not a perfect parent. No such thing exists. But this kind of concept is on my mind. I'm trying to unravel it. I want to kind of throw it to you and see what you think. Modern society does not set women up to breastfeed. It just doesn't. Because if you're on the road, do you know how hard it is? Like, it's been so hard. If you are, at least in the beginning, now it's like easy and the best possible thing, but in the beginning, it just feels like, wait, but I should give a bottle to my kid because then I can sleep, because then my husband or my partner or my mom or whoever can do it for me. It's such flawed thinking because the mother should be supported too. The mother should be, the whole day you should be, like the first 6 weeks of postpartum, why are women not just resting? Why are women back at work? This makes me so, I just can't even understand. I can't even fathom being back at work when you are still, you're literally like, you might still have a scar. You might still be like bleeding or in pain or like, how are you going back to work? Women are absolutely, I mean, there's strength there, but I think it's doing a huge disservice in the long run for women's health, for women's well-being, the outcomes. I'm sure there are studies out there. If there aren't, there should be, on just maternal health outcomes and the lack of support. Maybe I'm a bit ranty. Like, I don't know. I'm on one. Like, I'm in this mood right now where I'm just like, I want to flesh this out. Women don't breastfeed because women are going back to work. Like, and that does not mean women shouldn't work. And I'm not in like, oh, 1950s, like trad wife. Like, don't even go there. Okay. I'm just simply talking about biology and the fact that breastfeeding is biologically appropriate for mammals. It's the best thing for you and your baby. It's bonding, it's nutrition, it is the immune system development for your kid is directly linked to you breastfeeding. Formula cannot mimic that. So, okay, if you're not breastfeeding and you're bottle feeding and this just triggers you, I get it. I had to work so hard to get off of bottles. We used bottles for like a little while in the beginning. I had some major challenges recovering from birth. Like, I nearly died. I can't even talk about my birth story because it's just like I'm finally wrapping my head around it. It's been a year, you know? Like, it was traumatic as hell. And so whatever, if you had like a brutal birth, I totally can relate. I haven't gone into it. I don't even know if I'll share it publicly. It's not something I still have to wrap my head around it, quite frankly. And it's a very private, intimate thing, and women doing it, great if that feels healing for you. I don't know that it feels healing for me to kind of expose the most like vulnerable, private, intimate thing I've ever done. I don't know. I don't know that that's like the road for me. But if it was like the hardest thing you've ever done, I totally am standing there with you. And breastfeeding was hard for me too. And I just want you to know that, like, just because it's hard, if it's the thing that you are adamant about doing for your baby because of the benefits, that's me at least. Like, I was adamant. I didn't care all the hurdles that got in my way. Bottles being introduced when that was not my plan. I didn't want them. So everything went not to plan. If you feel like breastfeeding is slipping away from you for convenience purposes because you feel like you need help, I just want to urge you to get help in other ways. Like, get your husband, your partner to clean the house. Get somebody to come and bring you food. Please eat. My goodness, breastfeeding, you're starving. Um, so the real reason I wanted to do this episode actually wasn't about breastfeeding, but then here I am just on a tear because this makes me so passionate. I haven't felt so like fiercely adamant about something in a very, very long time. I'm adamant about this, that it's the best possible thing for your baby and for yourself, to the point where I made it the focus, and it took so much out of me to make work. I think because I was like, I just had to change my thinking so much about it. Because I think the modern day thinking about it is so flawed. And I had nobody to teach me anything. Like, even lactation support just wasn't enough for me. It didn't like it was like technically there, but it wasn't the emotional components of breastfeeding. Maybe we need to do like maybe I need to talk about this in an episode of itself, but if this is something you're struggling through and you're either doing it and people are judging you for doing it, maybe they're judging you for doing it quote unquote too long, which is just, what does that even mean? Like, the recommendations are at least 2 years. 2 years, not one. Everybody says one because they go back to work, in at least in Canada, right? It's like, oh, I'm going back to work. I did it for a year. No judgment. No judgment. I wanted to quit all the time. It was so hard, but I'm so glad I didn't. That being said, I understand why someone would stop, but the recommendations for right now are 2 years and up, 2 years and more. Because of the immune support, because of the bonding, because of the attachment that's being built between you and your child. Now, if you get pregnant back to back, there are extenuating circumstances. I am not an absolutist about anything. I totally understand circumstances can just make this impossible. And so, like, I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. I'm just telling you my headspace. Like, I'm telling you what I had to get into my head, like, there is no going back. There is no alternative, or else I would have 100% given up. So I just want to, like, put that out there and have that be something that is known. Like, I know for a fact I would have given up. I would have given up the first week. It was so hard. So people that stop, I totally understand, because I would have done that. This was like the thing. You know, when you pick a thing and you're like, I'm adamant about this. This was like, there is no going back. I was so stubborn about it. It was hard for me. I struggled. It probably didn't have to be that way. Honestly, if I had I don't know what I will think about it. Probably support and like the education and the somebody being like nurturing me. That's again, this is probably the other thing that makes me so livid, is just the lack of support for moms. I will have to do something about this. Not that I need another project on my plate, but there is something that needs to be done for mothers to get more support. It's just impossible for you and a partner to raise a baby on your own in this little silo. It just makes no sense. The mom needs to be cared for. Somebody needs to be mothering the mother. Somebody needs to be caring for the mom, or else everybody's getting depleted. It's not going to work. And that's what happened to me. This year has been so difficult, so beautiful, but so difficult, because I just felt like I poured everything into my kid and nobody was pouring into me. And that's obviously a victim mentality. That's also not true. My husband has absolutely been there, but it wasn't enough, because no one person, right? It's like, also, who's pouring into him then? If, right? It's not a one person, two person job. This is a community job. So it's not even to blame him. It's not even to get into victim mode. It just, like, we were both pouring out of empty tanks. And I think so many parents are doing that. And it's tragic. And I don't want this for anyone. And I think a lot of times in quote unquote developing countries, whatever we want that to mean these days, they've got it so right, in that there's support from aunts, from cousins, from multiple family members. They, sorry, they come around the mother and just support that mother baby unit, because it is a dyad, it's a unit. That's another thing. Like, the baby literally doesn't even know that it's separate from the mom. So why do we, right? This baby is inside of your body, and then immediately it's this separate entity. It's like, no, they're literally attached to you with an umbilical cord, right? They are attached to you physically. Like, you are one, and you were one, and you will always, like, yes, as the child grows, but we're talking about infancy, right? And you slowly, this is like a years and years progression of them being in you, on top of you, around you, in your vicinity. They start walking, they start talking, they start going and doing. This takes 18 years, right? For lack of a better specific age, like, let's say 15, 16 years, whatever it takes. Like, it takes years for this process. Why are we in the first weeks, months, years expecting independence, self-sufficiency? It's not going to happen. Now, one thing I wanted to touch upon today that coincides with this, that's really helped me with parenting, is seeing my kid as, like, as their own entity. Okay? So if you see your child as an innately wise, gentle, but wise being, you can learn so much from them, and also realize that they know. Like, if your baby's crying, there's a reason, right? They're not just crying. Like, this idea of colic where a baby cries for no reason makes no sense to me personally. It's almost insane. Do you cry for no reason? Just because we don't know the reason. It's kind of like when people say you have, like, unexplained infertility. Yeah, exactly. It's unexplained. That doesn't mean there's no reason, right? We need to be very careful about, like, okay, so the doctors don't know what the reason is, does not mean there is no reason, right? It's just that we don't know it. So, and I get how when you're exhausted and that baby's crying and you feel like you've tried everything, it's like, so what is it? Right? Like, that, I get that feeling. But let's not say that the baby cries for no reason, right? There's a reason. And honoring that has been the most powerful parenting tool for me so far. Again, not doing it perfect, not saying I'm right about everything, but I will say I have a pretty happy, calm, amazing kid, simply because, like, the one thing I've done, literally, it's just one thing, like, or one principle. Excuse me. The one principle, the one thing, the one guiding light for me has been, my kid knows what they want, need, and is telling me, and I just need to listen. And I don't know if that's a coaching background thing. I don't know where that comes from. But I'm just so adamant that that's true. It feels true. It feels correct. My kid knows what they need if I listen. Now, when you get into the toddler phase, does that mean they're having a tantrum? They're right. They have to have the chocolate right now? No, I actually don't give my kid sugar, right? Like, so I'm the parent. Like, as a parent of a young child, you are crafting their world, their environment. You're curating their experience for some of those years, right? And so you really have to be careful of what you're showing them. I think I could do better of modeling, calm myself. So being cognizant of what experience, what world you're creating around them is important. But then within that world, there's a reason, right? Crying tears at an age where it's kind of exploring those big emotions as they get older. There's some big emotions there. They're not wrong. It just doesn't mean you have to give them the treat. But that doesn't change the premise. The premise is, my kid knows what they need. My kid knows how they feel. And I just have to listen. So, should have had a drink here. I don't know, I had a tea. And I guess I didn't bring it with me. I got really passionate here on this episode. I don't know if I should even air this. This is a bit much. But I it's the truth. It's so the truth that I just can't even explain to you how much I've wanted to get that off my chest. Breastfeeding is no question the best thing for your baby. It is also it was for me so hard. It doesn't have to be hard. Why is it hard? Because the lack of support and what modern society is setting us up for. You're supposed to be 3 weeks postpartum, going to Walmart with your like diaper bag and bottles, and or like going to these family events the whole day, driving like 2 hours with your kid who like can't even control their neck and they're in the car seat, and you're supposed to like pack up the whole car, shuttle your kid there, like change the diaper while you're in the car. It's like freezing outside. You're trying to open up this snowsuit. Like, what is going on, right? That's like not, you're not, that is not the time for that. And then if you have multiple kids, like I get why people with multiple kids don't go anywhere. And like there are also families that go and travel all the time, but I will say they usually have older kids, right? If they have a young kid, they're stationary for that time. There's something, it's sort of like the seasons. Like right now we're in the winter season, at least in the northern hemisphere. And if it's a winter season, like the birds go south for the winter and animals hibernate. You know, like some animals hibernate, some birds go south. If you're going south, cool. Go south and then be there. But then when you have your kid, like you're chilling in the south until things warm up again, right? If you're in the winter landscape and you're like a stay in place animal, then you're hibernating. You're not like going here and there and all over the place because that's not the season you're in. So I think honoring the season we're in, you're not the same as a mom. Like people want to have a kid and then bounce back a week later, wear the same clothes, like be themselves, go to a concert. What? Like you just built a human that took you like almost a year to build this human. Now it's outside of your body. Your body went through so much. You've depleted so much of your nutrient stores and so much of yourself. And now you need to go to like the John Mayer concert? No, you don't. Right? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think we need to make this sacred. I think we need to remember how much it is on a woman's body. I think women have to remember for themselves and not let other people pressure them into this idea. I think women need to take care of their babies and people need to take care of the woman, the mother. Like we've got it so skewed. Why is the kid going to daycare at 6 weeks old and the mom is going, what, like, no, I'm the best person for my baby. You are the best person for your baby. What you need is help cleaning and cooking and laundry and all these external, all the noise. That's what you need help with. Your baby's your baby. You know your baby. You need to bond with your baby. That is your baby. That is my humble opinion. There's that's not going to change. This is your baby. You need to be with your baby. You are the best thing for your baby, barring, severe health issues, drug issues. Like, I'm not, again, there are always caveats. I shouldn't be so absolute. It's not an absolute thing. There are situations, those situations require extraordinary, um, you know, decisions and outcomes, and there are outliers. Let's treat them as outliers. But for the majority of women, you are the best thing for your baby. And this just has so fired me up to figure out how I can help women do that. Because just one part, you're like, your husband is not enough. Not because your husband is great. Your partner is great. But this is not enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one person. Because your husband cannot be your end all be all either, as in anything, as in any situation. Like, you need your husband or your partner, but that's not enough to nourish the mother because someone needs to be pouring into the husband. There needs to be this kind of community cocooning around the family unit. There's the family unit, mother, daughter, or mother, child, father. Mother, I was thinking mother, son, child, father, because of like the Jesus. So in the Catholic faith, Christian faith, I suppose, but Catholic faith right now, you get it's like a day of the family sort of idea where you're thinking about Jesus, Mary, and Joseph and that family unit. And family units look all kinds of ways today, and so it's just a template, right? Templates inherently are just a framework. They're not the end all be all. But that family structure of mother, father, and child, we need to hold that sacred. That's what that imagery is for, to remind us that these things are sacred. The imagery, the paintings, all these practices, it's because this is sacred to us as a people, as humanity. And I think we're going down the wrong road with this in a lot of ways, forcing women, and out of necessity. Like, I'm again not judging you. This is out of necessity that women are going back to work so quickly, because they have to. I think every mother is doing their very best, and maybe I should have, like, maybe I'm saying this in the wrong order. I should have started with that. But it just makes me so mad that women can't make the choice they want to make deep down, that they need to make for themselves, for their babies. Like, we need to honor the mother and the baby unit. We need to honor the family unit, or else, if we don't have the family unit, we do not have a society. The society is built up of families. Like, when I look out the window, it's like house upon house upon house upon condo, condo, condo. Like, these are all little family units. They're all little units. And if we're not honoring the unit, where does this whole society go? So there I am on my soapbox. This is probably the most ranting episode I've ever made, and maybe it wasn't coherent. I want you to know, I'm not judging you and your choices. I'm judging on a societal level of what we're putting on the top of our list, what we're valuing. And if you're a mom that feels this, I urge you to get support with the noise, with the things outside of what I deem the most important thing, which is that mother child dyad, especially the first, years of life. There's just no question in my mind. I'm so clear that that is such an important relationship that nobody else can take over in the same way. And again, if you have multiple kids, if you have, like, there are circumstances where that might look a little bit different, but it doesn't actually change the premise. If you have a kid that's one and then you have a newborn, those two kids are your life for such a short amount of time. And then they won't, be pulling on your pants. That's the cutest thing in the world, by the way, when they like pull on your pant leg and you're just like this little human. It goes so fast, and we have to honor those 3 years, and if, let's say you have 4 kids, that's 12 years. That's if you're spacing them out every, whatever it is. But in the grand scheme of an 80, 90 year, 70 to 90 year life, 12 years to just be in the trenches of, like, motherhood, it's the most beautiful, hard but beautiful experience I've ever had, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I just want women to be able to have that bond and that beauty for themselves, if that's what they want, as they've chosen motherhood, and not everybody chooses motherhood. Sometimes motherhood gets forced upon women in ways. But if it's your experience, I want to honor it as what it can be, this beautiful dyad experience. Maybe triad if you have twins, or, but again, templates are just frameworks. None of this is set in stone. I'm talking about what's our ideal. So, yeah. This is a lot. I hope that there's something in there for you. I will see you next time, and take good care until then.